Welcome back to Andertons TV. Myself and the beautiful Danish Pete are in our temporary accommodation with our slightly dodgy backdrop of our normal accommodation. Because our studio is being refurbished at the moment. Thank you, Mother Nature, for making today pretty much the hottest day of the entire year, just as our children go back to school.
It's pretty hot.
So it's pretty hot in here with no aircon. But enough moaning. On with the video.
Yes.
Fender released the Player Plus series recently, maybe even today. I'm not sure when this video is going out, but it's recent. And so this, and Pete did some wonderful playing, and we shot a great video yesterday, which you can watch up here, which is a deep dive into the new Player Plus telly, the Nashville telly, and both the Strats, the SSS, and the HSS.
Scotchio, that's what it is, isn't it?
And this video, because I can hear you going, but what's the difference, Captain? What is the difference between the regular Player series and Player Plus? So we're going to talk about the tellies first, then we're going to talk about the Strats, and Pete is going to be our guinea pig. He is the one that's going to be going, yes, I see. So I'm not going to go into all the features of Player Plus again, because as I said before, you can go and watch that in the other video. But there are differences with the neck and the pickups and the body carves and things like that. So, Mr. Pete, first and foremost, let's do the feel.
Let's do the feel test. So, let's talk about the neck first. You've got a flat radius neck on this. You've got a very satin neck on the back, and you've got a satin fingerboard as well. You've got some beautiful rolled fingerboard edges, so it feels just right. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm a bit, I kind of a little bit surprised that you've liked the feel of that so much. Because Player is a traditional feeling, modern C, 9.5-inch radius, glossy fretboard, medium jumbo frets, and a traditional neck width at the nut. Player Plus goes a little wider, a little flatter, and completely satin, front and back.
Slightly slimmer neck, I feel. Like when we did the video on the Ultras, where it's got that little sort of different neck shape in the back that feels it feels like it fits in your hand. Maybe just my hand, but it feels there.
So I was thinking that Mr. Pete would go, I think I like the Player more than Player Plus, but he's not.
Well, actually, so it's we're lucky enough to play so many guitars all the time that you kind of get used to playing every shade of neck carve and rolled boards. This doesn't have that rolled edge. If you want to learn a good word, look up what the Danish-Swedish word, so the Danish or the Swedish word for edge is. Just Google that. Or don't. So anyway, you get the thing where you might feel the frets a little bit more when you're running your thumb along here, because they're not rolled. But that's how it used to be like that, and people would play it, and that's why we got the rolled fingerboards that people are now used to. I prefer that satin finish. It's not as sticky, and the lacquered board here, I don't know if that's going to feel too sticky.
I think the lacquered board is a visual thing and maybe controversial, a tonal thing.
You might get a little bit more snap.
Probably not a feel thing.
Maybe you get a little bit more snap from that lacquer. But let's try that while we're here, shall we?
I see.
Let's try that.
That's a good idea. Let's do tones.
Yeah, let's do tones. Again, here's another thing that we'll just talk about in a minute. Noiseless pickups on this one, not on here, and no pulley here, but pulley there. Yeah. Pulley. So here's a G chord just on the neck pickup, and some more chords. Here is the bridge. And here's the middle. A little bit of gain. In the middle, in the bridge. And here's the neck. And here's the bridge. Okay.
This one? A little bit
warmer.
Fatter,
just a little bit warmer and fatter. Just a little bit more in there. Here's the bridge. More the punchier, aren't they? There's no drive on here now. It's just clean. Here's the middle. Definitely warmer. And now
here's the Mega Magic mod.
Ooh. You get these two basically change from 0 to parallel, or parallel to series, and becomes like a humbucker, where you get the...
Go watch the other video we did, we explained that
check
better.
it out, exactly. But with gain, so here's a little bit of gain. I like that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I like that sound. Here's the middle. I like that sound, and this is... I prefer the sound in this guitar.
What do you think? It's not, again, probably just want to get this across. This is not the better version of this one. They're the same factory, same build quality, probably the same people making them.
Absolutely.
It is just, this is the sort of the regular spec version. This is the modern spec version.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer? It is dearer, by the way, because the bits and bobs they use on there are just more expensive parts. And on the Strat, there is a really obvious feature difference on the saddles. So the regular player has the bent vintage style saddles, and the Player Plus has the blocks, the steel block saddles. On the Telly, the initial thing is that they look the same, don't they? But actually, if you go side on, they are marginally thicker. So higher mass saddles on Player Plus than they are on Player. And that, again, little things like that will affect the sort of the ballsiness of the tone of the guitar.
I think you're right. Anyone who's just noticing that little thing across there, it's not a scratch, it's just the...
where the plastic's
still plastic is still sticking.
Let's show you...
Here's a cool thing,
Yeah, let's do noiseless then.
Noiseless pickups, very cool here.
You need to have this one back.
Shall I do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the noiseless pickups.
Imagine this, imagine big stage, 100-watt amplifier, terrible lighting rig, thousands of people in the audience. This is the problem that you might have with a non-noiseless pickup guitar.
I'm on, okay. I put an Argo fuzz on, with us, put a Dane on.
There's some hum.
And there put just a fat general compressor.
There's a lot of hum.
Can you hear that? I mean, this is a lot of gain, there's a lot of gain.
But we're so
still,
quiet in here. Imagine that 100 times worse.
Exactly.
Right?
So, hang on, let me leave that. Let me leave that at that. Okay, so here we go. So let me turn all the way up here on the bridge pickup, and this is off. And there we are. I'm on.
So there's a big difference there.
Big difference.
Now, again, it's all subjective. If you talk, you know, I've read interviews with Eric Johnson, who kind of says if you take the buzz away, I don't sound the same. And let's be honest with you, Jimi Hendrix didn't have noiseless pickups, and he sounded pretty cool. You know, so it's like, good. It's just a thing. If that kind of background noise, either because you've got gain pedals or lighting rigs or crap, you know, if that annoys you, noiseless pickups might be the solution.
Absolutely.
Right?
And they're so good now. It's not, you know, they've come a long way, noiseless pickups, from where they used to be. You know, that they are much more like vintage sounding pickups now. Can I just point out, belly cut, no belly cut, locking tuners, no locking tuners. So, you know, you got all of those extra features in there. I think it's got a little bit more contemporary colours on this as well, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so there we go.
We've got a Nashville Telly in the background here. Yes. There is no Nashville Telly in the Player series, although there was one in the Deluxe series that's been discontinued now. But yeah, if you're looking at that going, oh, what's that? Again, go watch the other video we did. It's basically a 3 pickup version of that one.
So you have a look at the Strats, Lee?
Let's look at Strats.
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, so part 2 of this video now, we're just going to quickly look at the Strats. Now, Player Plus, which as I've said many times in this video, you can go and watch another video we did on these. Player Plus is going to come in 2 versions, 3 single coils and an HSS version.
And some stunning colours.
Player series comes in loads of different versions. So Player, you can get 3 single coils, you can get HSS, you can get HSH, you can get Floyd Rose versions, and lots more colours at the moment. Yeah. So that's obviously, you know, we've picked a white one out with an HSS configuration.
Classic.
But really, as we said before, we're going to just talk about feel and tone. All the appointments we talked about, you've got locking tuners versus standard tuners, slightly different neck profiles, slightly different saddles on the bridge here.
Noiseless pickups.
All that stuff. But really, as we did on the Telecaster one, I just want Pete to kind of feel it and tell us, like, what's the dealio? So,
I think it's just the same kind of on the edge here, where there's not roll at all. So it's not like this. It's not at 90 degrees, but maybe like slightly square, something. And you probably feel the frets a little bit more when the edges are like that. But otherwise, the standard C-shaped Strat style profile on this really feels nice. I mean, there's nothing. These are straight out of the box.
Let's have a little listen then.
Yeah, let's have a little. Then the neck pickup, and of course we're running it so hot in here today, so loud, we're playing so loud. Anyway, so that's on the neck pickup. And here's the two pickup together. And the middle. It just sounds like a Strat, Now we come into the interesting point in these two guitars, I think, because you have a humbucker at the bridge to give it a bit more poke, but of course that one over there can do more.
It can do more.
Because
that definitely doesn't have the switch, does it?
No, I would just pull that off. So this is now the bridge and the middle pickup together. And here's the bridge. You can hear this much more pokey if you put a little bit of gain on it. Actually, let's do gain afterwards. So here we are. Okay, let's jump over.
You'll notice both these guitars have Palfero fretboards. Obviously, that is an option. You can buy Palfero or Maple in both Player and Player Plus.
So quickly, just talk about the feel of the neck. I think it's much more comfortable for just picking it up and going, yes, that's nice. Where this one you might go, well, I might set it up a little bit, I might play it a bit, and then play it in.
It's the whole point of
It's a classic feeling guitar.
Yeah. The whole point of rolled edges is to just instantly go, oh yeah.
Yeah, and familiar. The roll dial stuff, we can take.
Dial.
Yeah,
he's BFG and
he rolled stuff even better than anyone else did.
The original roll dial.
He was a rock and roller. Dad jokes. Yeah. Here's the neck. Again, it's like the Telecaster, a bit more full, a bit more. Maybe a bit more subdued, actually.
Yeah, it's not as pronounced.
Middle position. And here we go with the bridge and the middle. And the bridge. All of a sudden, much more. It's much pokier, but I wouldn't say there's as much output in it. It seems less loud. Okay. Here comes the magic. Split it.
Do me a favour. Do me a favour. Would you just literally neck pick up that versus neck pick up that, and then the same with the humbucker?
Okay.
Just clean.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because the telly I really heard like instantly, and this one I'm not sure I did.
Let's see. I think I prefer that actually.
Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting.
On the telly, I really felt like the noiseless one was a bit fuller.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling like on this one, maybe the non-noiseless one is a little fuller.
I'm just looking at the...
What are you hearing?
What are you hearing? You might not be hearing anything.
Yeah, have you got the sound turned up? You've got the mute switch on. Just go, I hate these guys.
The subtitles doesn't do audio.
Yeah, can we humbucker it?
We can humbucker. So, humbucker now.
it's not radically different, but it's odd, isn't it?
Maybe it's a setup. I don't know if
do you know what? Yeah, it could be micro things like just the way the pickups are adjusted, but it doesn't look like they're set up terribly different.
No.
Hey, well, you know, we don't need to. We're not going to do that whole noiseless demonstration that we did on the Telecaster. It's the same thing, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again,
I mean, you get the locking tuners and the.
You can see it's the. I did want to say actually. Can we flip it? Did I read somewhere that this is a bigger trem block, or have I just made that up? I think I've made that up.
I don't know.
They look like the same trem block, made of steel.
I've got a 7 on here.
You can see the saddles are different.
Different saddles.
So these are your vintage style saddles.
Yeah.
I quite like this trem system because it's two dual fulcrum, so sort of modern way of attaching it to the body, but using vintage saddles. Whereas this is dual fulcrum with modern saddles.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a tricky, isn't it? I have to say, for me, and I never really thought I would say this, but you know, I like the more modern feel of the Player Plus.
I like the modern feel. I mean, as I said earlier, we are lucky to play lots of guitars, so we get used to playing a lot of guitars. You know, but it's for somebody who starts out, who wants a very comfortable guitar to play on, who wants to maybe something that can with the 12-inch radius and stuff.
Yeah.
You can get the action low and all that different stuff. But come in and try them out.
Yeah. So look,
please, at least just check in the shop that you can.
The point of this video was just to do a quick comparison. There's quite a big price difference, as I've said before in this. But you know, just again, if you hold that one up, and I know we're just all these features that we're saying is this, all the differences rather are the same of the 3 single coil versions as well. But locking tuners versus standard tuners, slightly, very slightly, but in my opinion, unnoticeable, slightly wider neck on Player Plus. Rolled edges, really noticeable on Player Plus. Slightly flatter radius, marginally noticeable. Tones we did, you know, the noiseless element of them, really obvious. The tonality sounded to me a little bit more obvious on the Tele than the Strat. Magic switch on these, and a very slightly different trem system. Slightly different saddles too. So,
gig bag.
Diddly ho. Oh yeah, gig bag here. But there you are. Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting in my car, going to get another laptop charged in the middle of the video, but you know, there we are.
So, jam out?
Yes.
Just a quick one. Okay. See you later, everybody. Au revoir.